Hi everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. My name is Rachel. Today is Friday and that means it's Flexible Friday. So as requested, we are getting into our shoulders today. So a bunch of yummy shoulder openers coming for you. So find a little bit of space to move and let's get started. So we are going to start in child's pose today. So a little option for you guys is to actually bring your knees out wide, and instead of reaching your arms above your head or even resting them beside you, we're gonna slide them between our legs. So you can just kind of start to bring your knees out nice and wide and pretend like you're trying to grab onto your feet or something like that. And then instead of a forehead, you can just rest one of your cheeks on the mat, and we're still just bringing those hips nice and low. And we're just going to start here by taking a few breaths. So if this doesn't work for you, you can always bring your arms out from underneath you. Just taking this time to slow things down. Just starting to feel your breath. Letting go of your week or whatever you might be looking forward to on the weekend. Just be right here, right now. It's just you, your breath, your body, your mat. Beautiful, you guys. Staying here just a little bit longer, getting a little bit more comfortable. As you start to settle in even more, maybe you can slow down the breath. Just lengthening your inhales, lengthening your exhales. Awesome work, you guys. Take one more full breath, a nice deep inhale. And exhale. And you can start to lift yourself up and bring your arms out from underneath you. We're just going to come forward onto our hands and knees. So slide your knees in a bit so they're underneath your hips. A little cat and cow. So start to drop your belly, lifting your chest, gazing forward. And exhale to round your spine. Really push into your palms here. Imagine you're separating your shoulder blades away from each other. And we're just going to hold it here. So really rounding through the spine, squeezing your belly button in, and then trying to touch your chin towards your collarbone. Just feeling your breath, holding it here. Getting into those shoulders as you push a little bit more into the palms. Awesome work. With your next inhale, start to drop your belly, lifting the chest, looking forward or maybe looking up. And exhale to round the spine, holding it here, really pushing into the palms. Push so much that you start to feel the shoulders activate. And again, imagining you're pulling the shoulder blades away from each other, letting the chin come towards the collarbone, and drawing the belly button back towards the spine, holding it here. Awesome work. Take your next inhale and start to drop the belly again, lifting the chest. And exhale one more time here, really squeezing the belly button back towards the spine, pushing into your palms, opening up those shoulder blades. With your next breath in, you can start to come back down to a nice flat back, and we're just going to wiggle the hips from side to side. And as you let your hips come out to the side, just let your back, your upper body just kind of sway. And you can start to get your shoulders involved, just kind of letting the shoulders move however they want to move as you move the hips. Just trying to round the spine in the opposite direction that we already were. And then finding your way back into center, back to center. So we're just going to stay on our hands and our knees, walking both of our arms out. And as you reach nice and far away from you, we're going to start to bring the forehead down to the mat. So I want you to lengthen your arms as much as you can, keeping your hips nice and high, and then just resting the forehead all the way down. Try to surrender instead of holding your head up. Just let it fall all the way down. So with your next inhale, we're actually going to lift all the way back up. You can keep your right hand out long. Left arm is going to slide underneath the chest. So try and drop that left shoulder down. Relax your head down, just putting some body weight on that left arm. And then just a few moments here. If you want to stay exactly where you are, you can. If you want to take that right hand and maybe push it into the mat a little bit more, imagining you're opening up that right shoulder, lifting it off away from the floor. Your hand could even find your low back to open up just a little bit extra. And then if your right hand is on your hip, we're just going to bring it back down to the mat. I want you to walk it back to the top of your mat and see if you can try to drop that shoulder all the way down to your mat. So now we're trying to square the shoulders. And then with your next breath in, you're going to lift all the way back up. That left arm is going to come back out nice and long. Both arms are reaching out, dropping that forehead back down. So keep those hips high. Let the forehead just fall, lengthening through the arms, getting into those shoulders. Awesome. You guys, with the breath in, start to lift back up. This time, that right arm is going to slide under the chest, bringing that shoulder all the way down. Relaxing your head. And just letting gravity kind of help you put some weight onto that right arm. You could take that left hand, maybe reaching for the left hip, thinking about opening up, pulling that left shoulder back. And then with that left hand, if it's on your hip, you can start to bring it back down to the mat, walking those fingertips toward the top of your mat, and then just adjusting those shoulders a little bit, like you want to bring the left one down towards the mat this time. Awesome work, you guys. With an inhale, lift all the way back up. Bring that right hand out next to the left one. One last puppy dog, one last stretch in this position. But take your palms and bring them together. And we're just going to lift our hands up off the mat and behind the head. So we still want to drop the forehead and drop the chest towards the mat. This might change what you're feeling through those shoulders. And you can even take your hands and try to just rest them on your upper back, the top of your shoulder. Awesome, right? You guys start to extend your arms back out nice and long, lifting your forehead and your chest off the mat. We're going to have a seat on our heels. So just placing your hands on your lap and take a few shoulder rolls here. So bring your shoulders up to your ears, roll them back and down. And just go nice and slow. We're going to do 3 in each direction, or maybe a few more or a few less, depending on how quickly you're going. And then when you're done those shoulder rolls, we're just going to take our hands and clasp them behind us. So you can interlace the fingers if that's enough for you, but we're going to be lifting the hands off of the low back. So if you do want a little bit more, try and bring the palms together, squeeze those palms together. So wherever you're at, interlace the fingers, start to lengthen your arms and try and pick them up off of the low back. So as you lengthen the arms, just let the hands come off the low back, and you can actually start to just pull those shoulders back just slightly, opening up through the chest here, and then maybe lifting those hands just a little bit more off of the low back. And you can lift your chin as well. Awesome. Right, guys, take another inhale. And exhale. Release your hands in front of you. Again, interlacing the fingers, but this time pushing the palms for the front of the room. So pushing, starting to round through the upper back and dropping your chin to your collarbone. So kind of like we were doing in our cat stretch. Imagine you are pulling your shoulder blades away from each other. So you're really pushing the palms, lengthening the arms, and then separating those shoulder blades away from each other. Awesome job, you guys. Take one more breath in. And exhale, releasing your arms all the way back down. Take another big shoulder roll in one direction, and then do one more in the opposite direction. Perfect. So we're going to lay down onto our stomach. So onto our stomach, you're going to take your left arm, just extend it out to the side, and then bend your elbow. So making kind of a cactus arm. So your hand is going to be by the top of your mat, your elbow is out from the shoulder, kind of like you're making a perfect 90-degree angle. Then your left cheek is going to come down, so you're looking away from your arm, and you're just going to start to lift the right hip. Lift the right shoulder and just push your right hand into the mat just to support you. So if this right leg is hovering really high in the air, that's okay. But if you can relax it down, just relax it down. I don't want you working too hard. So feeling this all through that left arm, shoulder, chest. If you wanted a little bit extra, you could take that right hand and rest it on your low back. And then slowly start to roll back onto your stomach. We're going to switch sides so you can bring that right arm out to the side this time. Again, the hand is up to by the top of the mat, making your 90-degree angle with that arm. Right cheek down, and then start to roll. Left hip's going to come up. Left shoulder's coming up, and you can just push into the mat with that left hand. Supporting you, relaxing your legs. You could even bend the legs, plant the feet, whatever helps you kind of roll over. And if you want that little bit extra, you could take that left hand to your low back. And to take this one further, you just keep trying to bring the left hip towards the mat, like you actually want to lay on your back, but you're not going to move that right arm. Awesome job, you guys. Start to come back, laying on your stomach. Just placing your arms at your sides, resting your chin or cheek on the mat. And let your shoulders be nice and heavy. And then when you're ready to come on up, you're just going to bring your hands under your shoulders, push yourself up. We're going to have a seat so you can cross your ankles, sit on down. Okay, so we're going to bring our feet out in front. Our knees are going to be bent. And you're just going to slide your feet so that they're, I don't know which way to face, so that they are, no, I'm going to go this way. So they're mat width apart, so nice and wide. All right, so our feet are wide, our knees are bent. We're gonna take our elbows and put them on the inside of our knees. So you can put one hand on opposite shoulders, and you're just gonna squeeze your knees together here, letting your head hang heavy. And if you got really tight shoulders, you're probably gonna feel this. You're gonna stay here. If you have more open shoulders and maybe you're not getting a stretch or the best stretch that you wanna get today in those shoulders, you're gonna bring your elbows back out. You're going to take the top of your hand, so it's going to rest on your side, and then you're going to tuck the elbow in. So now we're internally rotating that shoulder, and you're going to start to feel that a whole lot more in that shoulder and in that arm. So maybe you're only going to do one arm at a time now. Maybe you're able to do both, but the top of the hand's finding the side of your body, your torso, and then your elbows are tucking into the knees, and then to take this further, you just draw the knees towards each other. So try to relax your head. If you are doing one arm at a time, I'll let you know when to switch sides. If you're doing both and at any time you want to take a break, feel free to take a break. Just finding your breath here. This is our last shoulder opener today, and it's a good one. The chicken wing pose, I call it. So if you are doing one side, switch. If you're doing both, you could take a break, you could stay. But again, to take it further, you just draw the knees in towards each other. Awesome work, you guys. Very slowly come out of this. So I'd like to let my knees just fall out a bit just so I can easily slide the elbows out. Just cross your legs or find a comfy seated position and bring your hands to your shoulders on top and just kind of give them a little massage. We're going to do a few shoulder rolls. Hopefully you feel like you need some shoulder rolls after that chicken wing pose. It's one of my favorite. So good. Awesome work today, you guys. So just moving in any way you want to move until your shoulders stop talking to you. I hope that you enjoyed the practice today. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and have a really awesome weekend, you guys. Namaste.